What is the good word? Welcome to the Higher Call, the Christian Sports Fan Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Satterfield. God is good all the time, my friends. Go Lake Nona Lions, go Seas, go Bees, go Pats, go Sox, and go Cougs. Throwing it over the wall to my co-host, Lucas. How are you, Lucas?
I'm good, sir. How are you today?
Doing well. Welcome back from the AFC South preview. The algorithm loved you, and so did the people. So Lucas is back for another round. This time talking about college football, which he said was his love, even more than the Jacksonville Jaguars. So happy to have you back. Talk a little Florida Gators, and I'm so excited that college football week 0. We have a really decent slate for week 0. And so we'll be going into that a little bit later in the episode as well. So talk a little Florida Gators, do a little faith talk for our segment, and then we're going to go into preview for college football playoff. We're going to do a college football playoff draft. We are going to do the 5 and 5, picking all the games this weekend, and then we are going to sign off. So sound like a plan, sir?
Sounds good.
All right. So let's talk about the Florida Gators. Let's start, at the top there. You hired Jon Sumrall coming from Tulane. My Houston Cougars know a little bit about hiring former Tulane coaches. Willie Fritz has been a great success for us. So I wish the same success upon the wonderful Florida Gators who don't come, who are not privileged and not at land grant school. Maybe they are land grant school. But anyway, but what do you think about Jon Sumrall? What's your look with him and coming from Tulane?
Really excited for what he's going to bring to the Florida Gator program. Really hoping to get us back. He has said all the right things early on. The excitement, invested, got the kids bought in, really seeing the future, really hoping to increase the program's just reach and touch. So I think he's great. I think one of the best things he's done recently is really bringing in some great offensive coordinators, really strengthening his staff. As any good leader would be, you want to hire the best in the room with you. So I think he's brought in some great coordinators to really help develop the team and not just be a one-man band leading this team.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Does it scare you at all that he's only been at Tulane for 2 seasons? I know Houston, when they hired Willie Fritz, he was at Tulane for like 10 seasons, and Summerall just kind of, he kind of just came on the coattails there. Made the college football playoff once, but does that concern you about experience at all?
I don't think so. I think there's so much names nowadays with coaches in college football. You got to take some of these chances. And for the past few years, Florida, we've been down. We've had a few rough coaches we've hired, had some ups and downs, but I think we had to take a little bit of a chance. And I think just really with the kids the way they are, really being connected with them. And I think he's done a great job connecting with the kids. So I feel good about it. There's always a chance, but nowadays you're flipping coaches. Even the big names are getting flipped. So whether you're a big name or a new name, I think it was a great hire. Just someone who can connect with the kids and connect with the school and really build the team back up.
When you start talking about American football teams and rosters, you really have to start with the quarterback. And there's been breaking news in the last couple of days. Aaron Philo has been named the starting quarterback, at least by sources, transfer from Georgia Tech. And so he beat out Tramel Jones Jr. How do you kind of see Aaron and the progression at quarterback for the Gators?
I think it was kind of an easy pick for him, I'd say a little bit. His offensive coordinator is the same coordinator he had at Georgia Tech last year, Buster Faulkner. So having him there, having that familiarity with the system and knowing how it runs, I think he'll be a great place in there. And even when they came out and announced him, like any good Gator coach said, Summerall said, well, he's just the game 1 starter. So who knows how that goes, how that looks. I mean, we may get a few looks at some of the backup guys as we go through the first few games, but I don't think we're definitely married to him, but I think it's definitely with the coaching staff and the way we're set up, I think he was the right first pick to see how the season starts.
And you start thinking about the SEC as a whole. Something interesting this year is going to the 9-game schedule for the SEC, like the Big 12 and the Big 10 have done for a while. But you start thinking about, teams like Arkansas, which isn't on your schedule, but, Arkansas lost to Memphis last season, who's a G6 team. Different losses like that the SEC has taken. Maybe the schedule will get a little bit easier playing 9 games in the SEC. What do you think?
I think that would be a good talk from a non-SEC guy. So I think there's no matter how you look at it, SEC is a gauntlet of a schedule. You look at the other programs here. You got Oklahoma with the second hardest schedule, Ole Miss the 5th, Texas A&M the 9th, Texas the 3rd, Georgia, they do drop down to 20th. So where you got LSU also there at 11. So the schedule is still hard. And I don't think it's really what might hurt us this year is just really being in that spot. So we will see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And and so you look at the schedule here. You start off with Florida Atlantic. They're from the American Athletic Conference. They went 4-8 last season. They have a second-year coach. That second-year coach comes from Lubbock, Texas, and so Texas Tech. So everything from that school in that part of the country is overrated. So yeah, you guys should be good there, don't you think?
Yes, I think that should be a great first win, hopefully. And the cool thing, my second son's a senior in high school this year. We're actually going up to Gainesville for that weekend to tour the school song and watch the game. So get to take him to his first Gator game for that one.
The SEC gauntlet of a schedule continues against some team named Campbell, the only university in the country named after chicken soup. That's probably going to be a nice win as well. Then you have at Auburn, who's kind of a growing team there. How do you see that game?
That's a hard one. And that's at Auburn, never easy place to play. I feel like really looking early on that game, and not to jump ahead, but that Missouri game, those two early games on the road are really going to show us what we are. Like the back half of our schedule has some tough games in there. And if we lose some of these early games against other SEC teams, it could be a really rough season. So hopefully we can start off well with Auburn. It's a good stepping stone for the other competition, but Auburn's not an easy team by no means.
Nice. And then you play a bunch of SEC teams. And then the final game of the season is at Florida State. How are you seeing your rival across the state there in Tallahassee? And how do you see that game maybe going, even though that's going to be very, very late in November?
Late November. It has not been the best years for either one of us. So I feel like we are in a better spot coming out of the past few years. So I feel confident that we would finish the season strong there. But I think we have a long way to go to get back to what the heyday of Florida State should be and will be again.
Yeah, and Florida State did beat Alabama last year, so maybe they're a little bit better than what we thought, or maybe Bama just wasn't. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, you look at the Gators schedule. You think about at Kentucky, going to Lexington. Vandy is kind of hard to read, right? Like they've gotten better, but also they're going to be Diego is no longer with them. South Carolina could possibly be a win at Missouri, Columbia, Missouri. Missouri lost to Iowa last season. And so there's a lot of tough games there. And then you think about Georgia too. I think we discussed this last time, but they play in Atlanta, it's quote unquote neutral site. So no more Jacksonville. I think that switches off year by year. But yeah, you look at, I would imagine that you would look at things like Kentucky, Vandy, Missouri, South Carolina. Getting 3 out of 4 of those would probably be good, getting to bowl eligibility in 6 wins.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a battle, and then you throw in Texas in there too. You mentioned Texas; they're another hard battle in Austin, which would be really hard. So this is not a cakewalk schedule. I think we got some games that we can win. We just got to make sure we take care of business on the games that we should win. And if we don't do that, then bowl game will be hard to get to. But I think we can take care of business where we should and go from there.
Yeah, there's a school in Austin. It exists. All right. So, let me ask you this, as far as, what you hear about Florida's, this is always a big deal in the SEC, Florida's recruiting rankings and NIL situation. Are they, would you say they're kind of middle of the pack or towards the top? Probably not the bottom, knowing them. But how do you see Florida's kind of overall recruiting rankings and overall NIL?
Overall, we're okay. We're not the bottom. We're not the top. I think we're sort of right there in the middle. There's the LSU's, there's the Oregons, there's the Notre Dames that just spend tons of money out there. And we just got to figure a way to do a little bit more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you guys got some votes in the AP Top 25 preseason poll, and so definitely a lot of excitement around Gainesville with the new coach, and we're gonna see how things go there. So yeah, absolutely. Going into the faith segment this month, we're going to look at some of the most valuable players aren't the ones getting the spotlight. And last episode that you were in, you talked about being a good teammate, right? And I wanted to kind of dive into that a little bit, and just about how in sports folks can be selfless, right? They can put down kind of their lives for others. We talked about in a previous podcast that scripture, greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. And and just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that and on maybe players or teams that you've seen that kind of exemplify that and lay down their lives for others.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how you can tie the spirituality to sports like that. And I think especially what's hard about that in a day and age with the NIL and that kind of stuff, it's so much about me, about
Yeah,
how can I get my money? Because there's
yeah,
no team NIL money. It's all about individuals. And with the
right.
quarterbacks getting $2 million, but the left tackle is only getting $200,000 and he gets blasted in the news because he gives up a sack. It's like, well, why don't you quarterback get rid of the ball faster?
Right.
And we won't worry about it. So I think it's really hard. And I think the teams that can really build that chemistry on and off the field, it's really the ones who do well. You look at Indiana last year, really that teamwork together, just really seeing Mendoza, what he's able to do with a team of a lot of new guys, but they were able to connect and be able to depend on each other and make a great run. So I think that's really important in all things, whether you're in a family, your job, your church. It's really, you can't do anything by yourself. No matter what the job is, what the project is, you need a team. So the more you can bring people along and really do it together, that's where you're going to find success.
Yeah, and I was thinking about one thing I wrote down was point guards, right? And you think about, guys like John Stockton, right? Who made a career out of passing and out of relying on others and getting assists. He made a living out of off of Karl Malone and some of his other Utah Jazz teammates. And the other thing I thought about too was offensive linemen, right? Man, I mean those guys. I would almost argue in American football, offensive linemen might be more important than quarterback, honestly. Like because you can have the best quarterback ever, and unless he's Lamar Jackson, like if you don't have an offensive line, he's just be running for his life all the time. And so but those guys get very little of the credit, but it's also like one of the hardest positions in college football. It's one of the hardest positions to recruit. And those guys are selfless. They literally, plow the way, for other people to succeed. And something else I thought about too. I remember there was a play, for the old school Dallas Cowboys, right? Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and, they were on the goal line and they used Emmitt Smith as a decoy, where they did like a play action pass and everybody was loaded in the box and all that and they went back to hand the ball off to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt Smith like sold it so well he jumped into the pile, and I mean everybody just jumped right at him, right, and all that, and then he just Bateman just turned around and just did a little dupe pass to a receiver, for the touchdown, and so you think about that, just laying yourself down for others. I'm gonna lay down so that someone else can succeed. The other position I thought too, this is an old position, right? Was fullback. The Houston Cougars, the year they won the Peach Bowl, against Florida State, they had an underrated guy who was an awesome fullback, both for our quarterback, Greg Ward, and for our running backs. He would just go in and just smash guys, in the hole, and just open up holes for the runners to run through. And he actually spent a little bit of time in the NFL, on a practice squad. But yeah, name was Tyler McCloskey. Not many people will know that name, but Houston Cougar fans who know the lore kind of remember that. So yeah, it's really cool, like both in sports and like you said, in life, just trying to help others out and try to, let me be lesser so that you can be more. So yeah, anything else with this faith topic?
Yeah, I think it goes back to a lot of even big names. You think of stories about Kobe Bryant and how he's a superstar, but being a leader, he'd work harder than anybody else. He'd be in the gym before then, he'd be in the gym afterwards, and people would try to keep up. And knew he would set the standard by working harder. And I think we talk about the Gators today, even Tim Tebow, you talk about the great goal line play. We all know about the jump pass that he had,
Yeah,
faked into the line, threw the ball to the tight end and got a touchdown.
nice.
And I think even Michael Jordan, you may like him or love him, who knows, but he knew his team. He depended on his team and he led them. And he pushed them in practice, but he knew he could depend on them, whether it was Kerr or Paxson hitting a big three or Scottie Pippen. He could depend on him, and he worked together to really bring them to their ultimate goal.
Yeah. Yeah. And seeing and thinking about that and discussing it, it really asked me, like, in my life, right? where can I stop trying to be like the star in things and start helping someone else, helping someone else shine and be better. One example I thought of too, let's go to lacrosse, midi back, right? Where that's literally like sacrificing yourself. So in lacrosse, if you have 6 players over the half line, you are offsides, and so the defensemen therefore are never allowed to go past the half line unless a midfielder. A midfielder stops at the half line, and they even hold up their stick so that the referee can see it. And they allow, and Landon did this once in one of his games, and they allow the defenseman to take the ball and cross the line and take a shot on goal. And so yeah, the long stick with wheels. I love that midi back thing. It's a great concept though. It's like, okay, I'm gonna sit out this play because he has the ball and he can go help my team succeed. So yeah, really really good faith topic.
Definitely a lacrosse fan, because there's no better play than seeing a defender take the ball down the whole field and then score or take the shot. So great lacrosse play.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Just all the way down. Here comes the big man. Make it count, because it doesn't happen very often. But yeah, we are going to go into our 20-team CFP draft, college football playoff draft here. And so I'm just going to start getting my notes together for that. In the meantime, though, we are going to go to our sponsors. Please check out All Too Traveled on TikTok for short travel videos. You'll want to be out of the woods in your getaway car with the heartbreak prints of your wildest dreams. So calm down, shake it off, and visit All Too Traveled on TikTok when your schedule has a little blank space. By this time, you should know All Too Traveled all too well. And so please go visit them on TikTok for good short videos. And if you're over 40 and running on fumes, check out Bill Ellis and the Father Figure Framework. Simple, faith-grounded habits for strength, energy, and leadership at home. Learn more at billellis.coach, BILLELLIS.coach. I am excited about the 20-team college football playoff draft, and maybe we'll actually like keep score and remember this by the end of the season. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we are going to give Lucas the honors. He'll go first, but we're going to draft 20 teams that we think doesn't have anything to do with winning it. Doesn't matter. 20 teams you think are going to make the college football playoff. This is not your champion or anything. So number one would be, this team has the best chance of making the college football playoff. And then at the end of the year, we'll look at it and we'll see how many of the 20 we individually got right. So 20 team college football playoff draft, only 12 teams. Now this year, just a little formatting. This year, the Power Four, Big 12, ACC, Big 10, SEC, all get an automatic bid. And then there's going to be one G6 team. And so last year there were 2 G6 teams, and that rule was made to eliminate that. And so there'll be one G6 team. I think there's like a slight chance of another G6 getting in, but not as much as last year or previous years. Very, very much less. And then the rest are at large bids. So that includes, Notre Dame and pretty much, right, the other Power 4 teams. And so we'll see how this goes. So, Lucas, you have first pick. Surely you will pick a team from the mighty SEC because they're the best conference in college football. So the number one pick, I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be an SEC team, but you go ahead. You pick who you want.
I'm going to mess you up. I do agree with the SEC statement there, but it's also based off strength of schedule. And I would actually argue Oregon is my number one lock to make the college football playoffs.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so you took Oregon. I am going to go schedule. I'm going to take Notre Dame because they have like 2 games on their schedule. Notre Dame is trash. Notre Dame like cancels games with teams that are good. Like they had a home and home with Indiana scheduled. We don't want to play that game anymore all of a sudden because I don't know, Indiana's good now. So they play Miami and they play BYU in Provo. I hope BYU smashes them because they deserve it. They also chickened out of their bowl game with BYU last season, so now they actually have to play them. So yeah, Notre Dame's schedule is trash, and that's why they're gonna make the college football playoff. Pick number 3, Lucas.
Before I do that, though, random question for you: do you know what Notre Dame's strength of schedule is?
No.
56. So
see, I didn't even have to look.
It's bad. All right, number 3.
So
I am going to Now I will go to the SEC, and I will go to mighty Georgia.
All right, so you're picking the Dogs. I mean, they're you're gonna pick them. I mean, they're gonna make playoff, right? Like they win 10 games. Their schedule tells me they're gonna win 10 games. Yeah, I was just teasing before, but then I will take, man. These guys drop. Their fans are gonna be mad at us. Max might be mad at us. Ohio State will take number 4. Good chance of making the playoffs there. Pretty easy, pretty good schedule they have going. And so yeah, we have Ohio State, and then go ahead.
In the SEC, I'm going to go with the mighty Longhorns, even though you don't like the other school in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, there's a school in Austin, and Arch Manning. I have a Miami Dolphins friend that shout out to I think they're called Break On 3. Yeah, shout out to the Break On 3 podcast. Go check them out, guys. They they have a Miami Dolphins fan on there, and he said that he doesn't want Arch Manning as his first pick. He's like, I think there's other. I think he mentioned like Castellano. Like I think there's better players than Arch Manning. So I don't know why everybody's like, oh, you get Arch if you guys tank or whatever. So I was like, dang, shots fired, and okay. So yeah, that was an interesting take. All right, my turn. Enough filibustering. Making the playoff. You know what? I'm going to go down a little bit, down the AP poll a little bit here, and I think Texas Tech is going to win the Big 12. Hopefully Houston will beat them in Lubbock, but we haven't beaten them, since dinosaurs roamed the earth. So I'll take Texas Tech because the winner of the Big 12 gets in. So that's the why.
I'll go with, I think they're going to build on last year, actually. Go Ole Miss.
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's such an interesting, in the preseason poll, Ole Miss is 9, LSU's 11. Even though LSU lost to Houston last year and Houston's 23. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, the Lane train. So we'll see. Drama never ends with that guy. So we'll see how things go. Okay. Now I feel like Ole Miss maybe. Okay. I got one more easy one. Miami. Let's take Miami. They're sitting there. I don't know why that team is incapable of winning the ACC or like doing good tiebreaker stuff. But yeah, we'll take Miami. They're looking just as good as they looked last year. So yeah, that's a good value pick for where I am.
All right, we'll keep rolling. We'll go out to the Big 12 now. I'm gonna go with BYU.
Oh wow, okay, yeah, BYU. They're unfortunate. I mean, they only lost to Texas Tech last season, and I've even had this thought too with Houston, like. And I mean, who knows if this is going to happen? We have some returners. We're ranked in the AP poll, but this is a big what if, right? But it's almost like if we went 11-1 and the only team we lost to was Tech, and like Tech was undefeated, like could we abstain from playing in the Big 12 championship game? Because once you get that second loss, I don't think we would be in. I think they would put in SEC and Big 10 teams over us as long as they have decent records. So it's like we are not going to play this game to increase our chances of the college football playoff.
You don't want to be that team. You don't want to be that team.
We're not allowed to do that, but it's like you can make us like, yeah, we probably should. Like just to like, yeah, like this is the system, and so we're gonna rig the system. Well, one loss. There you go, CFP committee. All right, anyway, because that's literally what that's literally BYU season last year. They lost Texas Tech twice. That was it. All right. Interesting pick. All right, now we're getting into. All right, it's gonna be an SEC team. You got this like SEC conglomerate here. Give me the Sooners. Brett Venables. He's got some good stuff going on there. They're getting their mojo back. Their defense was nasty last year. They made the playoff last year. And they have Venables returning. So yeah, I'll take Oklahoma. What do you know what pick we're on?
We are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're in the sixth round.
Which means that your pick number
13.
12? 13. 13. Okay. 13. All right. Here we go.
Oh, sorry, 11. 11. We'll get there eventually.
Okay, 11. Wow. Okay.
I'm going to go with.
We're going to the barrel. Okay.
I'm going Texas. We'll stay in Texas. We're going to go Texas A&M.
The College Station Aggies. Yeah. Perennial. They got that last game. They did make it last year, right? They have that last game against Texas. So yeah, that would be a team that I would pick them eventually. I'm going to go. I know LSU's ahead of them the AP poll, but I'll take Alabama. I just think Kiffin just has the capacity to self implode, right? And like everything's just gonna. I mean, they're like trying to get an NFL player now and stuff. It's like that can't be good for the locker room. So I'll take Bama. They make the playoff more often than they don't. So yeah, we got next.
I'll go to the Big Ten. I'll go out west to a new school. I think the schedule sort of benefits them a little bit, but Southern Cal, charge
Okay.
on.
Yeah, USC. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, USC. They're supposed to be a little bit better this year. Um, tough for those West Coast teams. It doesn't seem to bother Oregon very much, but USC and UCLA, having to travel a lot. But yeah. All right. I mean, now that I got the pick for free, I'll get on the Lane train. He basically has an NFL roster over there. So at least according to like you look at their recruiting rankings. So I'll take the LSU Tigers.
We'll keep going. I'm going to go a little upset pick here, a little stretch. Going to go with SMU to get back in again.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good pick. I mean, they're projected to be pretty good again. And we'll see. But yeah, we'll see there. This one's a schedule pick. I think this team can sneak in just because of their schedule. New coach, Matt Campbell, coming from Iowa State. And so I'll take the Penn State Nittany Lions just because their schedule is pretty favorable.
Kind of the same thinking there. I'm going to go based off of schedule a little bit. They did lose their coach, but go to Utah. I think they got a shot to get in there.
Oh, Utah. Oh my goodness. Like, I mean, they got a new offensive line. They got a new coach. Their new coach has never been a coach before, and for some reason, they're like, oh, let's get rid of Ken for them, which makes no sense. It's like, what? And so then Michigan hires him. Like, it's like that's when you made no sense. And so yeah, interesting. Utah. We play them in Salt Lake City this year. They might stink. Like I don't like they have enough like new stuff. Like it might be over there. It's like because they were, I mean, right when their final years in the Pac-12, they were awesome. I mean, they were like winning the Pac-12 every year. They were doing their thing, and then they have not put it together. So they went to the Big 12. Houston beat them. They're 1-0 against them. They played them a couple years ago, and now we play them in Salt Lake, which is a tough place to win. Not going to say whatever. But I think most Houston fans are projecting to win there. It's new coach, new stuff there. So we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, give me the balls. Let's go balls. I got no problem picking the balls.
Freshman quarterback. Freshman quarterback though. Freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the Heupel offense, yeah, we're grasping at straws at this point anyway. So if you want to pick Iowa, be my guest.
I don't know. Should I be a homer? Should I be a homer for the host here? It make you happy a little bit.
Oh no.
I think I'll go Michigan. I think Michigan's a bargain here at the bottom.
Yeah. That's a good pick. And yeah, and it's funny. We're looking at the AP Top 25 poll. 12 of the 25 teams finished the year unranked, and so yeah, that's a interesting stat there. Let's see. All right. You know what? Give me the Cards. I'll take Louisville. Jeff Brom. They kind of rise up every season, and they're always like kind of like the interesting math team, and they seem to like kind of fade at the end, but. Kentucky should be a little bit easier this year, and they're in the ACC, where kind of anything can happen. So, my hometown team didn't go there, but know plenty of people who did. But I was born in Louisville, so I'll take them. Is that it?
That's all. Yeah, we're done. Okay. Sorry. Oh yeah, that's last pick. And I wrote it down. I have it typed in my notes, so we can do a recap at the end of the season.
Thank you. See, that's the host job, but you're doing it for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So that was fun. So think about the Power Four champs, right? We can go there. So ACC. I would take Miami. Who would you take?
I would go Miami. I go Miami over SMU here.
Okay, and then Big Ten. I would take. I'll take Oregon. Probably over Ohio State. What do you think?
I'm close to that. I'm going to take Ohio State over Oregon. I think they're going to battle it out a few Ohio times. Yeah. Not to bury the lead, but I think they'll battle. I think they're going to have a few battles this year between the two of them.
Yeah, and who do you see the school in Austin versus Ohio State early season matchup? Ohio State won it last year. How do you see that one this year down in Austin?
Man, that's a hard one. I believe based off of the returning offense, I think Ohio State will win a high-scoring game.
Okay. And let's go to the Big 12. I will take Tech over, let's just say BYU. Make it boring.
Wow, it's interesting. I'm taking BYU over Tech.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean Tech. They might have a lot. We mentioned Castellano earlier. There's like rumors about him being available, like going to Tech. I don't know. It's interesting. But yeah, we'll see. And then this fifth year thing is really like Houston got a wide receiver who played for us last year, Boogie Cousins. We love transfer from Oklahoma State. Been with us a few years, but then we got this like safety from Arizona State out of nowhere. He's like all Big 12 third teamers. It's like, whoa. And like our secondary was already set. It's like, okay, sure. We'll take another safety, another tall safety. Yes, please. I mean, it's kind of weird. But anyway, all right. So SEC champ, what are you seeing with, we can do like top 3 in the SEC or top 4 if you want.
So this is interesting because it's no longer East versus West. It's just the top 2 teams. So it gets a little interesting. And kind of elaborate. I wrote Georgia over Oklahoma or Ole Miss. So I think it's going to be an interesting little battle, but I do think Georgia will be there and they'll take care of business against whoever that ends up going against them.
Yeah, I'll take Georgia. I think they don't like how last year ended in the playoff. And yeah, I think they'll take it maybe yeah, I'd probably say Oklahoma is safe. I picked them for the playoff pretty early, so stay consistent there. And then, who is your national champion?
A national champion. Hopefully it finally happens. Animal House can actually happen for real, but Oregon over Notre Dame.
Oh, so you think Notre Dame is going to come in with their easy schedule and just start beating good teams?
They are.
Despite their easy schedule, they're actually good. We'll see. But yeah, I'll take Oregon as well. And let's do Oregon over Ohio State. So maybe they'll lose in the regular season and then beat them in the conference and then the championship game. We'll see. At this point, the whole championship thing, it doesn't matter. But anyway, now we're going to go to our new segment, our second time doing it. We are so excited for week 0.
Could we do the bold prediction? Or I have 2 that I can give you one. How about that?
Go ahead, man. We got time.
All right, thank you.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah. So real quick. So my bold prediction is Alabama misses the playoffs for the first time under Kalen DeBoer.
I love that.
And then this isn't really a bold prediction, but I think it's just we all want to see it. Ole Miss will finish better than LSU.
I love that too. Those are great.
So, there you go. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, those are 2 great predictions that I hope come true. So yeah, I would love for Ole Miss to beat LSU and finish it. All right. So it's time for the 5 and 5. We have 8 college football games that we're going to pick against the spread, according to Hard Rock, and we're going to pick the weekend series between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Boo. And so, are you ready first we have to get excited. Are you ready for the 5 and 5?
I am so ready.
Vamos, es el cinco y cinco. Hey, it's the 5 and 5. Hey, we start in Ireland. Top of the morning to you. North Carolina versus TCU. The TCU Horned Frogs with Sonny Dykes. Turned college football world on its head. It's been 2 or 3 years now since they did that. Last year they destroyed Carolina. I mean, that game, I watched it. It wasn't even close. This year they are favored appropriately by 7.5 points. Belichick is just so far like the worst college coach ever after being the best NFL coach ever. I don't know what to say. They're not good. He's got another season to try to right this up, but how do you see that game?
I think TCU takes care of business. Chapel Bill just is the second year of the experiment. I just don't think it works out, and they start off on a bad note.
I agree. I think same as last year. TCU just destroys them. So I really hope they do. So go get them, Frogs. Go get them, Purple. A shout out to Fort Worth. All right. So San Jose State at USC. Now we're getting into the drugs a little bit, but USC is favored by, this is just a spread game. USC is favored by 38.5 points. So do you like Lincoln Riley to run it up?
I think 38's a lot of points, and I think USC will probably use this as a preseason game a little bit, so they will win big. I'm thinking 20, 24 points. I think they're going to get some backups in, get some time in there, so I just don't see it being 38, but I see USC winning convincingly.
Yeah, and I don't think San Jose State's just going to lay down. I mean, they're not Campbell. So yeah,
Whoa.
so yeah, we'll have San Jose. We'll take San Jose State in the points. I agree. All right, so NC State at Virginia, the same Virginia team that beat Vanderbilt last season. So Virginia favored by approximately 5.5 points. This is an actual conference matchup. And so, how do you see that one going?
I think at Virginia, they're the home team starting off. They finished real good last year. I think they continue it, and I think they'll take care of business and win by over 5.5. Take the over.
Yeah, I would take that. I think, yeah, NC State, man. I hope they get back to it. They're kind of like, I've always liked NC State a little bit. But whatever. But yeah, I think Virginia will take it. And I think this is their debut. Jacksonville State is it North Dakota State that's coming over to the FBS? I think that might be true. Let me check here. But anyway, North Dakota State is favored by 6.5.
I believe that's the Jackrabbits, right? North Dakota State up there. There've been a lot of great college game days there, especially in the cold in the winter. So I think North Dakota State knows what they're doing. I think they come in and they take care of business. And it might be a close game, but I think North Carolina take the under and they beat Jacksonville State.
And it is North Dakota State. They are, yep, and they are, they're joining the Mountain West Conference, so they didn't even have to go independent. How about that? All right. Sacramento State at Eastern Michigan. Sacramento State, they're the ones that they're kind of an interesting team. Or an interesting like program. Like Shaquille O'Neal did some work with them, and they've been trying to like pump some money in and just kind of Texas Tech their way to being good with money. And so yeah, at a lesser level, of course. But how do you see that one? Sacramento State and Eastern Michigan.
Well, I never thought I'd ever pick this game, just for the record.
Week 0.
I think I would take Eastern Michigan. I'm sure Michigan seems to be a little bit better football than California, so who knows?
All right, business picks up with Hawaii at Stanford. Hawaii always gets that Week 0 game because of their travel, and so Stanford is favored by 5.5. I'm probably going to take Hawaii in the points because I get 5.5 points. How do you see it?
It's always hard to travel. Stanford up there, they're trying to figure out what they are. And they're definitely a smart school, but trying to figure out they can be a football school too. So I'll just go against you a little bit. I'll say Stanford with the points.
Thanks for not agreeing with me because the algorithm doesn't like that. Good job. All right, no New Mexico State at Florida State. Florida State is favored by 31.5. So is Florida State capable of running it up against New Mexico State?
No. There's no way I could pick Florida State to win with the points. So I'm hoping, just for fun, because I'm a Gator all day long. So New Mexico State will win the game straight up.
I'll take New Mexico State in the points, but I'll say Florida State will win the game. Somehow, some way. All right. So we have Memphis, and they are at UNLV. So a big G6 game to kick things off. So UNLV is favored by 5.5 points. Memphis is going to be playing at the Vegas Arena there, Allegiant Stadium, right off the Strip. So how do you see that going?
Memphis is always one of those sneaky teams. They're never really great, but they're good. So I think they'll go out there. I think they'll ruin the opening week for UNLV. But I'll take Memphis. We'll at least cover the points.
Yeah, new coach. I think Memphis coach went somewhere in the SEC. But yeah, we'll see how that one goes. I'd probably take Memphis in the points as well if I get 5.5. But yeah, there is football does kick off at noon, and then there's like a 10 p.m. game, and they stagger them. So, folks, if you want to watch these games, you can literally from noon to 1 a.m. like a good college Saturday is. There won't be multiple games; it'll mostly be one at a time. But yeah, really exciting week. Anything? Oh yeah. Red Sox and Yankees. I will take the Sox 3-1. It's a 4-game series, so you can say split if you want. How do you see it going in the Bronx this weekend?
Man, I've been focused more on the Little League Baseball World Series going on right now, but I would say right now, based off of what I think, the Red Sox do seem hot. But I think, sorry to say, but I think your Yankees are going to come in and spoil a little bit and take a 3-1 win up there and sort of ruin the Red Sox playoff run a little bit.
All right. And to make it a true 5-5, since you mentioned Williamsport, do you have a champion pick for the Little League World Series?
Ooh, we're definitely a Southeast family cheering on that team. They had two great wins the last 2 days, but ooh, man, I think I'm going to go with this little farm town. I'm going to go with Iowa out there to
All
win it.
right.
They
All
seem
right.
to be in the best spot, and their pitching is solid and hitting home runs. So I'm going to go with Iowa.
All right. Let's go Iowa. Nice, nice, nice. And yeah, thanks a lot, Lucas. This was really fun. Love college football. So excited. And eventually the weather will turn cooler. It's just an awesome time of year. Anything else to share about the season or anything before we sign off?
Now, looking forward to it, and a lot of high school football, college football, and pro
Yeah.
football. So it's a lot of fun going on, no matter what level you want to watch.
Yeah, shout out to the Lake Nona Lions. Lightning delayed game, and they beat number 5 Evans, who's their rival, on a Hail Mary. So you can go check that out if you want. There's a YouTube videos everywhere. The game didn't end till like 11 p.m. or something because of lightning. But yeah, that was huge. They were down the whole game, then just Hail Mary at the end. So pretty cool. All right. So second time go around. Was this as bad as you thought it would be the second time around, Lucas?
Enjoyed it 100%. Great time.
Awesome. Thanks again, man. Really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
All right. As we wrap up today, remember this: whether you're playing, coaching, cheering, or even officiating, every person on that field is made in the image of God. Yes, even the referees, even the bad ones. Thanks again to our sponsors, All Too Traveled on TikTok and Father Figure Coaching with Bill Ellis for supporting the higher call. If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with another sports fan. And we would love to hear from you. Email us anytime at highercallpod@gmail.com, just like the title of the show, highercallpod@gmail.com, with your questions, topic ideas, hot takes, or just to connect with other like-minded sports fans. Or if you want to be a co-host, if you want to sit in the hot seat, let me know. And until next time, keep your eyes on the game, keep your heart on God, and thanks for listening to the Higher Call.